In this video, you will see an example of a CCA-created English language arts lesson for a first grade student. Lessons always begin with a lesson overview. This includes can-do statements. For example, here it says learners can demonstrate understanding of spoken words, syllables, and sounds, as well as much more. Vocabulary is also listed that will be found throughout this lesson. The lesson also lists the kit materials needed. These are physical materials that are mailed to each student at the start of the school year. There are no additional household materials needed, and the approximate lesson length for this is 90 to 120 minutes. And it is always recommended for learners to take a short break every 20 to 30 minutes. This lesson begins with an introduction, which includes an audio recording that the learner can listen to.
Welcome to a new unit. A unit is a group of lessons that are related to each other. This unit has a theme called Becoming a Classroom Citizen. A classroom is a group of learners and their teacher. What is a citizen?
Next, foundational skills are described for the learner and their learning coach. Here, the learner will be practicing their phonemic awareness to distinguish the A sound in words. Let's watch the CCA-created video about phonemic awareness.
Say the picture name with me. Alligator. I hear the ah sound at the beginning of the word. Listen. Alligator. Say the ah sound with me. Ah. This is a map. I hear the ah sound in the middle of the word map. Listen. Map. Did you hear it? Say the ah sound again. Ah.
Next, the learner and learning coach will take a look at phonics, the short A sound. Learners are encouraged to break words into their sounds and to think of it like a word experiment. This is to help learners read words and also to help spell them. On this page is another CCA-created video about the short A sound. Let's watch just a portion.
I'm going to build some words. I need your help segmenting the sounds and then blending the sounds together to say the word. Here's our first word. Let's try it together. Gap. Gap. Gap is the word.
The videos and information presented in the lesson so far will help the learners with an activity found on the next page, where they will need to act as a word scientist to put words together correctly. Now learners are directed to use their Reader's and Writer's Journal, page 76. Again, this is something that has been mailed to the family at the start of the school year. Once the learner has completed this page, they are to show it to their learning coach. A sketch pad is here as practice. While this is just practice, the learner's work here will be seen by their teacher. Using their touchpad or mouse, the learner can directly write on the sketch pad to write the word for the picture. Next, the learner will get ready to listen to a new story. This lesson transitions from phonemic awareness and phonics to reading. You may find that this is a good time to give your learner a quick break. Before reading, learners and their learning coach are to build an understanding by focusing on characters, setting, and events. The blue buttons here are hotspots that will help learners review characters, setting, and events. The learner may press play below to listen for more information.
The characters in the story are Little Red Riding Hood, Grandma, the wolf, and the hunter. The setting is the woods and the grandma's house. The event is what happens when Little Red Riding Hood goes to visit her grandma and finds a wolf waiting for her.
Learners will now get ready to read. The story they will listen or read today is called A Fine, Fine School, written by Sharon Creech. Before they read or listen, they are encouraged to explain who is the author and who is the illustrator. They can check their answers in the hotspots below. Learners are to read or listen to the story. They are encouraged to think about what the story is mainly about. Also, to guess what will happen during the story. Here, the learners can launch the story in a new window to read or listen to it online. Just like with their workbooks, this book has also been shipped to them to have the option of using the physical copy as well. Having the physical copy of materials can help give learners time away from the computer screen.
Mr. Keene was a principal who loved his school. Every morning, he strolled down the hallway and saw the children in their classes.
After reading A Fine, Fine School, learners are directed to take a closer look at the vocabulary to unlock the text. They are encouraged here to think about the words proud and learning. At the bottom of this page, learners are directed to make a video or audio recording to help demonstrate their understanding. They can record audio directly in Edio for their teacher. On the next page, learners are directed to story elements by using their 3-column chart from their activity book. To help reuse this page, they are to lay their sheet protector over top and use their dry erase marker.
Do you remember the 3 important story elements? The 3 elements are characters, settings, and events. I will add each element as a title for the columns on my chart. Your learning coach can help you write the elements on your chart.
The following page includes a Learning Coach note. Learning Coach notes are in blue text and provide information and support for learning coaches to help learners complete their tasks. As students complete the reading portion of their day, they will move on to writing. You may find your learner needs another break before starting the next section of the lesson. In this writing lesson, learners are working on fact and opinion. You will notice that students are working with written text to read, video, and audio tools as they practice to identify fact and opinion. At the bottom is a brief hotspot activity where learners will listen and choose the sentence that is an opinion.
I think math is the best subject in school. Math is a school subject about numbers.
The next page will follow up more about opinions by having learners use their T-chart from their activity book. Learners will write directly on this page, and will save it for the next lesson. Again, there is a Learning Coach activity to help their learners understand opinions more and to complete the chart. Finally, students will work on independent writing. They are encouraged to think about Mr. Keene from the story, A Fine, Fine School, and write the topic, a fact about Mr. Keene, and an opinion about Mr. Keene. Learners will use their Reader's and Writer's Journal, page 78, and a pencil. The second to last page of this lesson is an extension of independent reading. Learners are reminded to spend some time every day reading on their own by reading a book at home or by navigating to Storia to find more online. And the very last page of this lesson is a review preview. The learner has completed their lesson for the day. They can press play to review the lesson.
You practiced reading words with the short A sound. Ah.
And scrolling down, they can press play to preview the next lesson.
In the next lesson, you will learn more tips for reading and handwriting. You will take a closer look at the characters in the story, A Fine, Fine School.
We hope you enjoyed the CCA lesson tour. For more information about CCA, check out ccaeducate.me.